I made a terrible mistake here. I thought this would actually blend. I need to go make myself another drink. This thing looks like toxic sludge.
Are you drunk with that?
I
Gonna
will
use
return.
the bathroom. I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Oh, this shit is fucked. You drink with niggas.
Right. Tony, you're dolo. All right, I gotta go drop a fucking.
Oh
fat.
my!
I'm kidding.
Yeah. New York is changing for the best.
In a year's time, in a years and a half time, this vape might be a cartridge of marijuana. And you gotta know. It's just gonna tell you now, all right? These things might change, all right? And the landscape. I'm glad, for one, that they expunged all the previous records and they're letting those people out, and that is amazing that they included that in the bill, because if they didn't include that in the bill, I would be highly against it. As a pro cannabis user, I would still be objected to it, because I'm like, here's my opinion on it. You cannot put people in jail for not having money and choosing to sell this product that's illegal. They didn't have the money. They chose to sell it. You put them in jail for it. Now, 30, 40 years later, the state is running out of money. The state doesn't have enough money to function. So we're broke. So we're like, hold on, what we got to do? We got to sell some motherfucking weed. And it's like, you can't do with one hand and the other hand. Like, you gotta, if you're moving forward in this direction, you've got to go backwards. I don't know what expunged means. I don't know how deeply expunged is, but in my opinion, they're making a lot of room in their server bases, and they're taking a lot of fucking file spaces down in their shit. The amount of people that have been arrested, and that be the reason that they search you. Also, New York just voted on another thing. I remember I brought this up before, that you could look at public records. Now they took away something from the police called it's like a right that police have, and they took it away from them. Now it's it's open season on police, which sounds terrible, but it means that they have to do their job in the right way. And
is it the qualified immunity stuff?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. They just voted on that.
Yeah.
The first state in America.
About the expunged thing. Typically, when people say expunged, what that means is like a complete destruction of prior records. So like it won't show up. It's like basically it never happened.
Yeah.
Are
they doing reparations as part of that? By any chance, like people that are being released from jail and have, or is it just you're lucky to get what you get? We're pulling this off your record. Say thank you.
From what I heard, some of the people that got the worst sentences are going to get some sort of way into making getting some sort of career through distribution, or having first dibs on like the rights. Like if you want to open up a distribution center, or a medicated cannabis recreational center, which is what's gonna be cool. There are bars that are gonna be for smoking weed. And I thought that shit was so cool. We could go bar hopping and marijuana hopping.
They're probably going to do some kind of membership thing, because I think there's some bars in Denver that do the same thing. They're cannabis lounges, but you have to pay like a membership fee, and it's usually it's something bullshit. It's basically like a cover fee, and then you can smoke inside. But it's because Denver themselves has anti-smoking laws for inside of restaurants and bars and things like that. So if it's a members only club, they don't have to follow those. They'll probably do the same thing in New York, because I know that you guys have anti-smoking laws for your bars and shit like that too, right?
It's even worse. The fire codes in New York make it technically it's just illegal to smoke in any building. Like you're just not allowed to have any lit like fires and like any cigarettes or anything like that. Like it has to be outside. And then even more like maybe in the last 10 years, they also changed it so you can't even smoke in front of buildings and stuff like that. So it's like now you need to get away from the street to smoke. Like they're basically kicking all smokers out of New York City. So I'm interested in how they're gonna treat the marijuana like smoking either the same or different from tobacco.
I mean, I swear the last time I went up there, I paid $13 for a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, they're trying everything to get rid of this shit. So they're taxing you. They're making laws so you can't smoke around other people in different places. And yeah,
I also think that if like once this is all going, they got the centers up and they're making the profit off of the weed. Does New York City actually put that money back into the city and fix the shit that they need to fix? Or they're going to try to backhand or whatever backroom play with the money and keep it in their own pockets? Because, like, yo, the amount of money New York's about to receive from the weed, yo, they can fix a lot of shit in New York and make shit a lot better. So,
but it's not the city that's going to be selling marijuana, really. It's like a bunch of businesses. So it's not like
New York. No.
It's not like it's going direct to the city. They're just going to make taxes off of it.
But yeah, they're going to make a shitload of taxes. I'm saying,
yeah, sure. I'm just saying, like, it ain't like you're saying it like if like the city they're getting all the marijuanas. They're gonna smoke the marijuanas and they're gonna make the marijuanas.
I'm talking about
Cuomo's gonna be over there on the corner selling the weed in the Bronx.
Yo, when Cuomo runs for president, I'm voting for him. By the way,
Cuomo, doesn't he have a shitload of sexual harassment allegations against him right now?
I'm gonna be honest. Not when they come out like that. It seems too orchestrated when there's several people in a row that are just like bang, 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 bang. All of these 7-8 women in less than a month. To me, seems more orchestrated than naturally these women felt like they needed to come out and talk about these things. And it's okay. It's wrong. He can be wrong and redeem himself, in my opinion. I think we've.
I'm not even. What is he accused of doing now?
In my opinion,
just like, making like sexual advances, right?
Making sexual
I don't
advances.
mean to say just sexual advances, but like when my main issue, and I guess we didn't touch on it, but my main issue with cancel culture is how things get conflated. Like how Cuomo has like right now he has like a sexual allegation, and then also like Harvey Weinstein has sexual allegations, right? And on one end of this guy's literally forcing women to have sex with him, or else they got to say goodbye to their careers. And then someone else may make lewd remarks, which is also wrong, but they get conflated into they're all rapists. They hate women. I find that a little fucked up.
I believe that there are allegations that he groped an aide or something.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I believe there's at least one set of allegations of that nature. But I don't know. The reason they come out like that, though, Doughy, typically in like the cases where they've proven that the validity of the allegations is because once one woman comes forward, then the other women that have been scared to share the similar experiences will usually have the strength to come forward. It's usually that kind of thing. Not to say there's not some orchestration there, because obviously, like with Trump, who was an absolute piece of shit, when allegations about him started coming out, there were also a lot more that started cascading because the media and the journalists started digging in, which is what they're supposed to do because they're journalists. So they should chase the story and they should dig up leads and things like that. So they helped a lot of those women come forward as well. But I mean, it's the same thing. And I do think I lean pretty hard left. We got to hold our people accountable. Like it can't just be.
Absolutely.
I'm actually curious about that though. Sorry. Because last week when I brought up the NFL player who was getting attacked for Dika touching a whole bunch of masseuse girls, right? You was saying that that like more on the offense of him actually doing it, and now you're saying opposite when it comes to this guy in New York. So I'm wondering, like, how do you fall and where do you fall in that? Is it because he did something benefactor for everybody in New York that gets a pass or?
Let me try to like straighten my answer out for like so that it could be like this is my answer. People that do fucked up things should be held accountable for those fucked up things. Should people that do fucked up things never be able to continue what they're doing. I think it lies in the severity of their fuck ups. But I think also, when do you redeem yourself? Can you redeem yourself, and how you redeem yourself, in my opinion, is what makes your fuck up. Like, did you learn from it? Do you understand how you fucked up? I feel like, in my opinion, Trump did not learn from any of his fuck ups and just continued being the same piece of shit that he was from the beginning. I'm not going to say the same thing about Cuomo because I don't know.
You
I
don't know
only
enough
know his
information.
character from what'd you say?
You said because you don't know enough information of him, of Cuomo.
I think I
is how you
know.
pronounce
I
it?
think I know enough information about this guy.
You mean like in regards to whether he acknowledges his fuck ups? Is that what you're saying? That you don't know about that? Or
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, judgment of his character, if he is guilty of these things, I think he will admit and apologize. But I think right now the
he's
situation,
denying it. I mean, he's innocent.
yeah, I think the situation right now for him is like, in a leftist view, he's done such a great job with New York and like locking it down in such a way where the virus has very little room to spread.
It,
And
it's interesting that you bring up his pandemic handling because that's the other criticism of Cuomo right now
I
is
don't
that he cooked a lot of the numbers that have to do with the nurse I think it's nursing home deaths in particular. Do you know Pucho?
Yeah, that was it. Basically that they didn't release like the full numbers of people that died in nursing homes. So they were
I
like
think
cooking the books to their benefit, pretty much.
I think personally, in that perspective, it is wrong. But I think when you scrutinize yourself and put yourself under that much pressure, then you're able to scrutinize. Like, in let's say Texas's case, and let's say Florida's case, the more wild and free you are with the way that you take your judgments, less. Nobody cares that Florida's open. Nobody cares that Miami just got shut down. Nobody cares that Texas just opened up. Like, a lot of these things are causing more people to die, but nobody really cares because the state never really cared. I think because New York cared so much and then they fucked up, I think it's more of a, oh, look, you fucked up here. And I agree. If that fuck up is legitimate, then yes, he fucked up. But in my opinion, as a New Yorker, an everyday New Yorker that rides the subways, that goes to work in the city, I think he provided invaluable, priceless information in the middle of a pandemic. I think that what he did was a step even further than what our own president was doing.
Oh, that's
Giving us
not even a question.
Oh, that's a low
daily,
bar though, dude.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's not even a question. Like
you know,
Trump did nothing.
He
He
actively
said he
tried to
wanted
make it
everybody to
worse.
be at the pews on Easter. That
you
like
remember last
last year, today, they were like, "Yo, we want y'all at the pews." That shit was nuts.
Hey, y'all, I made a terrible mistake here. I thought this would actually blend. I need to go make myself another drink. This thing looks like toxic sludge.
What are you drunk with that?
gonna
will
use
return.
the bathroom. I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Oh, this shit is fucked. You drink with niggas. Yo.
Tony, you're dolo. All right, I gotta go drop a fucking.
Oh
fat.
my
I'm kidding.
God.
So, what do you think about this whole marijuana legalization in New York City?
I think it's fantastic. I think that
Sorry, I also had another question. Wait, sorry. Go ahead. You said it's fantastic. Go ahead.
All right. So I think it's fantastic in a way because it's gonna bring, if it's all done right, it's gonna bring more revenue for the state. So things should be getting fixed. There should be cleaner streets, working lights. Things of the city should develop for the greater good. You know what I mean? Like things should get better, and especially for a city that's mostly on transportation, buses, trains. The quality of that should improve if it's done right. And I also think too that it's 2021, right? Like why are we not, like, weed shouldn't be illegal. Like it's not there's worse drugs out there. There's Xannies. There's I mean, crack,
Yeah, but
cocaine, they're
Xannies are illegal, like unless you're getting them from a
prescribed.
prescription, right?
That's my point.
Right.
So it's like weed and like there was always this negative thing from the government when it comes to weed, and that's because I believe that the government couldn't make money off of it in a way. This is what I believe. I could be wrong.
No, yeah.
And I'm saying like because they couldn't tax it because alcohol was illegal at one point. So the moment they realize, yo, there's money to be made on this, we can get money off of it. This and that and the third, boom, let's sell it. It's just like weed. California, fucking the first people to do it. It's like, boom, they seen like how that shit helps the fucking this state out first off because they're taxing the shit out of these people, right? And then on top of that, yo, like I'm a firm believer, yo, weed is beneficial in a medical field as well. There's people that I know that have kids that have mental illnesses or seizures and stuff, and people, they don't even have to have the THC version. That's like the CBD oils and stuff. That shit
I think the
benefits
THC
them.
does more harm for those types of people.
Yeah, no, THC does more harm for them. From what I heard, I haven't read studies or really dove into that or dived
Yeah,
into that.
they make like strains of marijuana that are like maybe I'm getting this shit fucked up, but in my brain, like THC is what gets you high. CBD is sort of what makes you feel like more lethargic or relaxed or whatever.
Mhm.
And there's like a balance to those two chemicals like in the strand or whatever. And when they make the medicine, they basically bump the CBD to like in the 90s of percent, and then the THC is like 1% or like basically that weed that you smoke or that pill that you take doesn't get you high at all.
Mhm.
Like because
It doesn't-
all the
It's called
the
psychoactive elements.
Yeah, it doesn't make you actually enjoy the Grateful Dead's music or get really good at beatboxing or anything like that.
Sunny Garcia. No.
So what was your second question, Pooch?
Well, a few things. So because you said a whole bunch of other shit. So
I gotta
cheers.
fill up in a minute.
So you said so alcohol used to be legal for many, many years. And then I feel like there was a woman or something, Betty or something. She was just running around the West Coast talking about how bad alcohol is and blah, blah, blah. And they basically got like a big group of people to agree, and they closed up. They were like, boom. That's how like kind of prohibition happened. It's like this movement. Prohibition lasted like 4 or 5 years or something.
There was wild shit with that. Like they would break into like these bars with like axes and like axe handles, and they would like bash up like all their booze bottles and break open their kegs of beer and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's
And
how
there
the
was
whole,
then during Prohibition, there was like this underground market of like doctors that would prescribe you medicinal alcohol for various ailments and calamities at that time, whatever old timey diseases you could make up for needing alcohol.
It's crazy because there's like history even in marijuana that like the hemp industry and the cotton industry were at like, and the cotton industry basically won by making hemp, what grows off of hemp, illegal, because hemp was used for like the ropes in pirate ships, if I'm not correct. Even like
it's
pirate ships,
like sail ships in general.
it goes back like super. It can get wet. It's durable, more durable than cotton.
Mhm.
So I thought that was interesting. Like where it comes from, where it's rooted from, the reefer madness shit, like the shit where they said like if you smoke marijuana, you're gonna go crazy and kill all these people.
Have you ever watched Reefer Madness?
No, I
Right.
haven't.
It's fantastic. It is the best like scare factor propaganda in the world. It's so over the top. It's just completely ridiculous.
And I did want to bring that up for Tony because Tony was saying that he thinks that the government made marijuana illegal because they couldn't make money off of it.
I think,
But it was just straight up because weed was viewed as a black man's drug, and white America don't want to be associated with anything to do with black people.
I mean, that's why it was called jazz cigarettes, because it was the jazz musicians that would smoke weed or whatever. That was a stereotype. I mean, it's like the crack and the cocaine thing. Like
cocaine was a white man's
was the
drug.
white man's drug, and
Yeah.
then crack was, you know, the black man's drug. Like they.
I'm gonna add something here. There's one movie that takes these intricacies into consideration, and that is fucking Dewey Cox. All right, Walk Hard.
Oh.
This shit, and you know what? I love it because they make all the drugs influence the way his music sounds, and I'm like, I love it, bro. It
Salute.
was so well done.
They basically are just saying like, look, every era of rock sounds the way it does because of the drugs they took at that time.
I never.
That's how they
caught,
break it down.
I never caught that commentary. That's fucking clever, though. I need to go back and rewatch that movie.
Yeah, like every new drug they take, it spawns the new era of music. Where it's
Not wrong.
like they start
Not
taking
wrong.
acid, and he starts making like Beatles music, right?
Yeah,
like
that's psychedelic.
yeah. Like,
So
Yeah.
what was
Bob
your
Dylan makes no sense what he's saying. Like,
second question?
Poor Bob Dylan, man. He's trying his best. Okay.
that man had 0 bars. All right.
Bob Dylan got
He
bars,
took
man.
nothing but
got some
Bob
good
bars.
ass songs.
Bob Dylan has different eras. Okay,
Mhm.
that was a weird era. The song that the Dewey Cox is making fun of, but Bob Dylan got some fucking bars, dude.
Is
That
Bob
Watchmen
Dylan?
song, "The Times They Are Changing"? That's a classic.
Is Bob Dylan the
Beautiful.
one that says you gotta know when to fold them?
Isn't that Kenny Loggins?
Oh, that's Kenny Loggins.
I think that's
All right,
Kenny Loggins.
because that shit is
Rogers or
classic.
something.
I use that shit
Yo,
all the
so
time.
Loggins, Kenny, the guy Michael McDowell that was on that 40-year-old virgin movie. Yo, that guy got some jams to him.
Oh, I see. Yeah, he's from The Office.
Oh.
And Doughy almost gave us such a good transition here, by the way,
Yeah, I know.
into a different topic that we're probably
not even
going to
going to
get
talk
into
about. Yeah, I was
today.
like, what is
Yeah.
Joey doing? Yeah. But I do want to touch on that. Not to talk about that topic, but I am interested because Doughy was saying something that I don't think I agree with, but I'm curious because it sounded like you were saying for marijuana, like you can't blame the people who decided to go out and sell drugs to make money because it was like a means for them to like live, right? Like that's what you're saying?
I think that you can't enforce new policy that basically emulates what poor people were doing to get by and now make it legal without letting them out, giving them some sort of reparations or presentations in the forefront that they're trying to provide now. You
So
can't.
you don't take any value in the fact that like there's just rules and we shouldn't break those rules to maintain like a cohesive society.
I
And
absolutely do, but I think these are outdated rules.
My opinion on it would be like the missing piece here in this argument is once you get a record, it's harder to get a job. So it's easier to fall into selling weed as your means of. I mean that's why repeat offenders. That's why the rate of repeat offenders is so high. Because once you have some kind of crime on your record, especially if it's something like theft or robbery or some kind of like actual like assault charge or something, try getting a fucking job. It's gonna be so tough. It's gonna be damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Recidivism is high because the just basically all the options you had before when you decided to commit a crime, you now have significantly less options. So now crime is still the best option on the table now. I mean, I say best, right? That's
One of
obviously
the only
subjective,
options.
but it becomes a more enticing option. You can make more money doing a crime than
Mhm.
fucking working at a gas station because maybe that's the only option now that you have, right?
So to be fair, sorry.
but I guess what I'm saying is like, is there no value in saying like, look, it's illegal to do whatever thing, right? Like it doesn't need to be specific, but if we say it's illegal to do X thing and some number of people do that thing and they go to jail for that, and then later you change the law and say, hey, that thing is legal. It's like, I understand that now we view that the thing that those people did might not have been wrong, but there was a rule that said it was wrong and they decided to break it anyways. Like, is there no like view that they did commit a wrong act? Are you saying just because now we think that the action is not wrong anymore, even if they knew that it was, that the government would view it as wrong, then basically just expunge it? It doesn't matter. Because I feel like the only reason the government's expunging marijuana records is because there's just too many people in jail. Due to this, I think it's like 70% of the people that are in prison are there for marijuana. Like, and I feel like that's the biggest drive in that side sort of view. But I think if we made other things legal tomorrow, I don't think we're expunging records for people that committed crimes. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like let's say that we did like the Germany thing and we got rid of like speed limits on highways. They're not gonna go
Right.
and expunge like speeding tickets you got. They might expunge them in like the last 60 days or something, but they're not gonna do a full on cleanse on your record or anything. But you know, it's slightly different, right? Because people receive unjust sentences for weed. I think you can get I think there's certain states where you get a longer sentence for weed than if you had like some heroin on you or some shit like
Yep.
that. Like,